you've ever stood in the middle of a screaming and hitting match between your children, feeling like a failing referee, then stop and listen to this. While to you, it may only be a ruined drawing, a dirty toy, to your 7-year-old, it's a declaration of war. And how you handle the next 60 seconds in that moment will either escalate the crisis or build a foundation for lifelong resilience. I'm Joanna, a mother of 2, former lawyer, now on a mission to develop emotional resilience in children. I've learned the hard way that for children between the ages of 5 and 8, sibling conflicts often stem from a deeply felt sense of ownership. Whether it's a drawing or a toy or a game, these objects represent significant time and emotional investment. While a ruined drawing might seem like a minor hiccup to an adult, a child perceives it as a major injustice because they have poured their identity and effort into that creation. These clashes are not just arguments between siblings, they are a natural part of how children learn to navigate boundaries and personal value. As frustrating as these moments can be, they are incredibly common. For a quick, simple guide to walk you through resolving all sorts of sibling conflicts, comment sibling conflicts below and we'll send it right over to you. Children take great pride in what they create. So when someone scribbles across it, their brain can quickly jump to the most obvious explanation that their sibling did it on purpose. And this is enough to spark a big emotional reaction. On the other hand, the younger sibling is often coming from a completely different perspective. They frequently join someone else's activities simply because they want to participate. And they may not yet understand that their sibling sees the drawing or the activity as something personal that should not be touched without permission. This gap of understanding is the root of many sibling conflicts. For parents like us, we're just left standing in the middle of 2 very different emotional worlds and emotional storms. So, what should we not to do in the heat of the moment? When emotions are running high, many parents, understandably, try to resolve the situation as quickly as possible. They might rush to fix the drawing, or demand an apology, or insist that the kids must share and play nicely. While, yes, these responses come from good intentions, they rarely work when children are still in the middle of an emotional surge. We tell our kids to share everything, but we often forget that some things, like a masterpiece in progress, just weren't meant to be an uninvited shared project. The older child may feel their frustration is being dismissed, that their feelings are not important enough, while the younger one may feel really confused about why they're suddenly in trouble for something they thought was harmless or even fun. And then the conflict can really escalate from there instead of settling. So what is the best strategy when a creative project turns into a conflict or playing turns into a conflict? Try what we call the pause, protect, prevent methodology. It's 3 simple steps to de-escalate and teach boundaries. The first P for pause. This is where before we fix the mess or scold, we take a breath, slow down, and we acknowledge the feelings involved. The most important part here is to acknowledge that feeling. Before we find solutions, before anything, is to acknowledge the feelings. For example, I can see you worked so hard on that drawing. It's really upsetting to see it get scribbled on, isn't it? Why does that work? Because validating their hard work lowers their emotional heat and makes them more open to solving problems together. The second P is for protect, and this is where we set clear boundaries with our younger children who often don't realize they're intruding. They need firm, predictable rules to follow. And here, the one important rule is to help them understand that participation requires permission. So how do we do it? We establish that if someone is working on something personal, then we should ask, can I help? Before touching it. Can I join you? Can I play? This teaches respect for others' space and protects the masterpiece of the older sibling. It really shifts the focus from a sibling's annoying behavior to a universal family boundary, and will reduce the mental load on the older child who finds that, they're always defending their space, and then gives the younger child a concrete tool to practice self-regulation and empathy. The third P is prevent. This is where we want to anticipate the younger child's desire to be included before the conflict even starts. And here we give the younger sibling their own version of the project. We offer parallel play. So if the older child is painting, then we set the younger one up with their own paper and paints nearby, and this will satisfy both their curiosity and their need for closeness without interfering with their siblings' work. Why this works? Because younger children, they often intrude because they're just wired to learn through imitation, and they seek connection with their older siblings and other family members. Parallel play addresses this need for belonging without requiring sophisticated social skills like negotiation or shared spaces that they haven't fully mastered yet. By providing a separate but similar task, you eliminate the scarcity mindset that leads to grabbing, allowing both children to stay in that calm state of creativity. A reminder here, though, that this is not a magic wand. Siblings will always find reasons to argue, but it builds a strong foundation for respecting boundaries and understanding different perspectives. After going through the 3 Ps, the final step is repair. And this is an extremely powerful and important step, because in the heat of sibling battle, our first instinct is often to find out who started it, and then we start handing out consequences and saying, don't do this and don't do that next time. But actually, once the initial wave of anger passes, the most important work begins here. Unlike assigning blame, repair is about teaching our children how to fix a break in their relationship and find a way forward together. This is where we move from blame to empathy. When things calm down, we help the younger sibling notice how their actions might have affected their brother or sister. This builds empathy without the defensiveness that comes with blame and shame. For example, we can try to say, look at your sister's face. She looks very sad that her drawing was destroyed. What do you see? We acknowledge their feelings. True repair doesn't always require a forced apology. Very often, simply acknowledging the other person's feelings is more effective for long-term emotional mastery. The goal here is to encourage our children to recognize the hurt. For example, I can see you are upset because I drew on your paper. Helps validate the older siblings' experiences and lowers the tension. And finally, we want to make sure that we're mending the bond. We want our children to learn that a conflict doesn't have to end a friendship or a relationship. Instead, we can view a squabble as a rupture that is simply waiting to be mended. Whether it's helping to erase the mark on the paper or simply choosing a new game to play together, the act of fixing the bond teaches resilience. It shows them that even when things go wrong, they have the power and the choice to make them right again. Overall, sibling relationships can be messy, emotional, and maybe occasionally loud. They involve so much competition, admiration, irritation, affection, every emotion under the sun, all at the same time. Moments like these can feel extremely overwhelming for parents, especially when it happens repeatedly. But remember, they are small pieces of a much larger learning process, and we need to remind ourselves that children are figuring out how to live with another person who has different ideas, needs, and desires, and they just don't have that skill yet. I mean, heck, many adults don't have that skill yet. But with guidance and patience, and by turning these moments into opportunities for learning and truly growing as people, then over time, our children will begin to pause before reacting, discuss or ask before intruding, and find ways to repair these small ruptures that happen in everyday life. If you find yourself running out of ideas when emotions run high, you're not alone. Many parents, like myself, struggle to navigate these everyday sibling battles. And if you need it, we're here to support you. If not, continue to enjoy our weekly videos and blogs. And also don't forget that free guide by commenting sibling conflicts in the comments below. We're here to help families build the tools needed to handle moments like these with confidence. Through our app, workshops, and events, we provide a practical roadmap for raising emotionally resilient children. Our mission is to guide the next generation to become confident, compassionate, and joyful adults who will be a force for good in the world and within themselves. At Bright by Design, we believe success truly starts from within. I'm Joanna. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.